What does it take to be a leader? To cement your legacy as a SAC Dawg, lead by example, and show that you can rise more than you can fall. These are the stories of the Mount SAC student athletes who set out to make an impact. These are the stories of the unlimited.
I'm Zach Rangel. I go to UTSA, play football. I'm a quarterback, and I'm majoring in finance. Growing up, I had a lot of older cousins. I didn't have any older brothers or sisters, but my cousins always played football, and I kind of just always wanted to be like them. And I watched them play quarterback, and then I was always a big Cowboys fan. And so I grew up, every Sunday watching the games, and I just always wanted to be like that one day. My mom wasn't on board when I was younger, but, in Texas, everybody plays football at a pretty young age, tackle football. And so I remember when I was in third grade, I came in and I was on my knees begging to play tackle football. And I had like a little fake helmet, and I wanted to play so bad. And they were like, all right, we'll let you play. And that was when I first started playing. But they've always been really supportive in just anything that I want to do and pushing me to be the best. I didn't even know what position I was going to play. I like defense the most. I like playing like middle linebacker. I love to hit and the contact aspect of it. But I could take a snap and hand the ball off, so they let me play quarterback. And then that's when, kind of from there, I started to play quarterback. The feeling, the adrenaline rush and everything, it was just like, it was an addicting feeling. And then as you move on, having the roles of having to be a leader, it's a different game as a quarterback than it is at any other position. You know what I mean? Like, you have to learn what everybody's doing. You got to know what you're doing. You got to be able to read a defense, call the play. And I just loved how complicated it was. I played at 3 different high schools. The first high school that I had gone to, I played, and then my family, we moved. It was my junior year, and that's a big year for recruiting. I started, it was the first game of the season, I was having a really good game. We were actually beating the team by a lot. And then the first drive of the second half, it was a run play, and I ran the ball, and I jumped over like a pile, and I got hit kind of funny, and I came down on my arm and I actually broke my throwing arm the very first game of my junior year. And so I had to sit out. And then I moved to Stony Point my senior year. Towards the end of the season, before we were going to playoffs, I tore my ACL. I sat out like 2 games, but I felt like I could play on it. So I ended up finishing out the season playing on a torn ACL for the last 4 games of the year. So it was kind of a weird deal because I tore my ACL. So I'm doing rehab every day. And, when scouts had been recruiting me and they come to see you, and I'm on crutches, right? It's not really appealing to take a senior out of high school just towards ACL. This coach that had offered me or talked to me, they kind of pulled out or did their thing. And then, I just remember one day I was real down, and I just prayed. I was like, man, if this is meant, pray to God that if this is meant for me, then let it be meant for me. If not, take it all away and, change my path. And that night I got a text email from Coach Cam at Mount SAC saying, hey, watch your film, really liked you, love to talk to you tomorrow. And that was it for me. I just was like, this is where I'm going to go.
My name is Cameron Dean. I'm the recruiting coordinator, quarterbacks coach, and passing game coordinator here at Mount San Antonio College. So Zach was a special case. He was a highly recruited quarterback, had all the stars, everybody, on him, and then he kept getting hurt. Another injury, another little injury, a dinged up shoulder or this, and he gets to play finally, and everyone said, okay, that's great, but you only had a couple games or not enough film. We want to see more. You tore it up at the camp, but we need to see full game film. The knee injury, it was one thing after another with him. So, and I kind of told him about the gray shirt, option that's available to us that gives you that opportunity to build your body up to get 100%. If you're rehabilitating an injury, as well as if, like Zach is a student of the game, he was my shadow. We did game planning together in the box on game days. He was standing there right next to me on the headphones. He was listening to a lot of times what the coaches were talking about and how we're envisioning the game. Okay, we're in 3rd down and 12, but for us, we want to get 6, 8, 10 maybe, so we can set up for a short 4th and 2, and trying to see the game in a little bit more macro perspective, I think really helped him.
That was the grand scheme of things, my best decision that I made when I was there, because I was in every meeting, learning from Coach Kim and Coach Bobby, just like, and Coach Mike, just every little intricacy about our offense, the game of football. I was like a sponge. I just wanted to soak it all in and just to learn as much as I possibly could.
As we went through, Bakersfield, we're on a road trip game where we got up and I think one bus broke down or something. So we have to cram guys, and so many things that are out of our control, outside of the game of football. Let's control what we can control, then apply that same theory to football, right? You can only control so much part of the game. As a quarterback, you get a lot more controlling of the game, right? That responsibility is amplified, but within what you can control, let's be really efficient at that. Let's be good at that, and let's continue to be really, really, really damn good at it until defenses can't predict what we're doing. And he understood that.
I mean, it was really like you ready to play and to go out there, and it's a little nervous. I had to shake some rust off because he hadn't played in the game in 2 years, but it was a really cool experience, and we ended up beating Bakersfield pretty bad. But it was just fun to get out there, and all the practicing, all the hours, and put it into a game was just awesome.
All the tangibles are there. He can make every throw. He can throw on the run. He could run the quarterback run game if we needed him to. But for us, we have guys like Rashad in the backfield. We have Schofield on perimeter. It was really, what are they trying to do? Are they trying to take the run game away? Okay, they got to play man coverage. They're going to play on Schofield or Bowden or whoever on the outside. Let's make a play.
I mean, Zach a little goofy dude. I like that, man. I called him Big Four times. We had the little thing where we shake our hand. We go like this and then shake hands with 4 fingers. But yeah, he was a workhorse too. I mean, that's how good of a quarterback he was. We established a really good rapport, both on and off the field. And I felt like we could have did more, really. I felt like we left a lot out on the table. But if we had a second go at it, I feel like me and Zach could take over the world.
Zach, he's an awesome dude. He, when we'd go out on the field, like, we knew we could trust each other. And I'm like, Zach, I got you, dude. Just play your game, play smart, and whatever happens, I'm going to do my best to bring that ball in and take it to the end zone.
Yeah, Zach, that's my guy. We still talk like every other day right now. He didn't try to give him knowledge and still try to just lead him. Keep his mind on straight, keep him keep competing out down there and things like that. As long as he do that and take care of what he can, control what he can control and things like that, he gonna be great. But yeah, we got a great friendship. That's my guy.
We all had a really good relationship, and I wish we could have played together for more years.
Yeah, I mean, we practiced so much together. In a normal year, we're with each other all day, every day, 5 days a week. I think they see the light at the end of the tunnel and what the goal is that we're working for.
Man, it was a fun season, but just from the first game to the last game and it not going as planned, and then, felt like we could have won and done better, but it was just, I felt like it was a good season. And then the transition to getting the opportunity to go to UTSA, it just made it all the difficulties worthwhile. But there's still a lot of business to be done, and a lot of stuff I got to prove still. I had offers to Morgan State, a Division I school on the East Coast, and then I had some official visits that I'd set up. But then when I got the call from UTSA, and that being close to home, we went out there and I got that call, and I felt like Coach Lunny, our OC, believed in me. Being a JUCO guy, I was pretty sold. And then we went there. After that, my mom was like, "Yeah, you're not going anywhere else. This is where you're going to be." I was like, "Okay, that's it." I was actually supposed to be at UTSA in the spring, but the pandemic happened. And because we had talked, I was registering for school kind of late because of the way, they found me, and they were brand new coaches. I actually could not enroll in the spring. So then I had to wait. And then the pandemic happened. Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, it was like a one thing after another. Being able to go on a football field and practice, like, you just took all that stuff for granted. I mean, going to a weight room and being able to lift and going out to eat with the family. The thing that's been pretty relevant in my life so far is that nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's given. And kind of that whole 2020 kind of reiterated that.
He walked into an opportunity where he's going to redshirt. He's going to have an opportunity to continue to develop his body, fill his body out, learn, maybe even master the offense, and then go into spring ball and go take a job. This is what he walked into here at Mount SAC. And what he and I have conversated about is there's nothing new, man. You've been through this before. You know what to expect. You know what maybe you slacked off or you did great at. Now let's pick those things up where we need to pick it up, and let's amplify the parts that are great for us, and let's go take the job and be that guy for the team where they don't have to ask. It's going to be obvious by your work, by your play, and you don't got to say nothing, buddy. Everybody's going to know by the balls you're throwing, the way you're leading, how you're talking, and how you're carrying yourself on that field. All the things that you can control and be the best version of yourself.
I mean, he changed the way I see football as a whole, as a game and everything. Completely changed it for me. And I hadn't mastered it while I was there. We even talked about it, like, man, I can't imagine me being your coach at a university and all the stuff that, you could master and everything. But I've brought that to UTSA. But I feel like the biggest advice was just to keep grinding no matter what happens, and just to keep pushing and fighting, and no matter he tell me, like, no matter what happens, you gotta keep going, keep pushing, just not to sit down and something doesn't go your way, or whether it's at the Division I and you don't get named the starter right away, or you got to sit out for a couple of years. You got to do whatever. Just don't think about anything. Just keep freaking fighting.
Just keep going. When you think you can't, you got to keep pushing. When coach is grinding on you, says you can't get in, you find a way to get another rep to prove him wrong. And whatever, things get hard. Things get hard for everybody. It's all relative, to your specific situation, but just keep going, because quitting has never solved anything for anybody. Just giving up, dropping back. There's plenty of resources. If you need help, ask for help, but you got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep going, because it's worth it. And like I said, man, quitting is not an option.
That's the goal. Be a professional athlete, and then venture off into finance and in the business world post football career. I hope to get I'm going to get my MBA. I'm going to graduate with a bachelor's in finance, and then I'm going to get my MBA. You just got to focus on where you're at right now, what you're doing to the best of your ability, and it's going to set you up for your next opportunity, whatever that may be. Really focus on the ability to focus on what you're trying to achieve and block out everything else. Just really try to phone in as much as you can on what you're trying to achieve, and don't stop until you do.
You gotta get it. We gotta get it. I gotta get it. On a mission, I got a plan. I gotta get it. Time to be a man. On a mission, I got a plan. I gotta get it.
And it's just, I think it's a pride deal. Honestly, In-N-Out's pretty good, but I gotta have my spicy ketchup, my good fries, and I like the size of the Whataburger burgers, a lot bigger, But I don't know. In-N-Out's pretty good.